All right, and we are back today with another threat assessment video. And today we're going to be talking about a very popular and powerful blue card, Rhystic Study. A blue enchantment costing 2 and 1 blue. This card reads, whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1 mana. Now, if your opponent drops this on the field, you may very well have some reason to worry. This is going to draw them a bunch of cards, especially if you and the other players at the table don't pay the 1. If you can get your allies against this player and you guys consistently pay that 1 mana, then this card does nothing. Can Rhystic Study draw 4, 5, 6 cards? Yes, very easily. But if you actually politic correctly and you're willing to slow down your game plan by a turn or deploy a spell or 2 less when it comes around to you, playing Rhystic Study is going to have very little impact on the game. Paying 3 mana to draw 1 card is pretty terrible. Now, Rhystic Study is a very popular card. Coming in on EDH Rec, it is in 29% of decks on their database. But there is another similar card that is politically the same, as in, if you can get your allies to agree to pay the tax, it is far less impactful. And the card I want to contrast Rhystic Study to is Tempt with Discovery. Tempt with Discovery is a green sorcery costing 3 and 1 green, and it reads, Tempting Offer. Search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. Each opponent may search their library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. For each opponent who searches a library this way, search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched a library this way shuffles it. Now, why would I contrast these 2 cards? This is why. When Tempt with Discovery is played, if the 3 opponents of the caster decline to search, if they pay the tax of getting no lands, the caster only gets 1 land. This is a political play. If one opponent decides to take advantage of the offer, if one opponent decides not to pay the tax, then the caster is getting a pretty hefty benefit, whether it's drawing 2, 3, or 4 cards, or tutoring for 2 lands. But here's the difference. Rhystic Study, as I stated before, is played in 29% of EDH Rec's database. Tempt with Discovery is played in 4% of decks in their database. That's a pretty big difference. That is a huge difference, and it's all political. Let's look at the price tag. attempted discovery, on average, is about $3. Rhystic study, on average, is about $40. Big difference. Now, one might say drawing cards is much more powerful than tutoring for a few lands. And that's true. It is. However, if you know what you're doing and you can get the other players at the table on board, this card, Rhystic Study, a $40 card, seeing a whopping 29% play, suddenly becomes the equivalent or worse of casting divination. This is one of the most important things to remember about Commander. It is a political format. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some Rhystic Study. What do you guys think about Rhystic Study? When your opponent plays it on the field, do you try and convince the other players to pay the one, or do you run in with reckless abandon? Let me know what you think. I really appreciate the recent support on my videos and with all the comments on my polls. Look forward to another poll in the future, or let me know what cards you'd like me to talk about down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and let's keep assessing.